Here's the data from yesterday's quizzes on using commas as introductory elements. This is for the whole grade level, so on average I'd say we're averaging a little bit above 60%, which is pretty good. Moving into it, this is going to be a little bit of a collaborative thing. Can you raise your hand if you think you have an idea of where the comma should go in this sentence? I'm going to wait for a little bit longer for hands to come on up. We should be reading this sentence and thinking about where the commas go. Selena, what do you got?
In between gymnast and
All right. Raise your hand now if you agree with Selena. Strong work, Selena. So we're going to go from there. The next one that we have, same exercise. Okay, go here. Fine. Raise your hand if you have an idea where the comma goes in this one. Gonna wait for more hands to come up. Try to get a hand up there, Ryder. Try to get a hand up, Hayden. You can do it.
so fast.
That was a mask up lyric, but thanks for the leadership. Naya, what do you got?
In between store and I.
Store and I. Strong work, you got that as well. I'm going to go beyond that right now. So, here's comma tip number one. It goes with the sheet of paper that you have. That sheet of paper should go into your permanent notes, so make sure to hold on to it. There's a ton of information on this sheet of paper about the different reasons you might have a comma after an introductory element. It lists different kinds of introductory elements. We're about to go through some examples of those, but what I would recommend doing as we start to proceed, and if you find yourself in your own writing wondering if you should have a comma or not, come back to this sheet of paper. I'll give you some more comma tips like this, and you'll likely be able to look through to sort of solidify in your brain whether or not you need a comma. So, that's a long-winded way of saying when you have a main clause, a complete sentence, and you are introducing it in some way, giving more information before the start of the sentence, you want to have a comma between that introduction and the sentence itself. Here's one example. At midnight in Count Dracula's castle up on the hill, comma, you can hear Diana Ross crooning from the stereo. If we look at it, this is the main clause. It is a complete sentence with a subject. It has a verb phrase here, which is can hear, and then a complete thought. This whole chunk of stuff is just introducing that main clause. So we separate it from the main sentence with a comma. For the next one, I'm going to ask you all to identify the subject and the verb in the main clause. With me, Noah? You need to stand up, wiggle your body around, wake up. You can do it, okay, man? So, we're trying to identify the subject and the verb in this sentence of the main clause. Slurping up the last few drops of the chocolate shake, Beverly was struck by lightning and toasted as crisp as a French fry. What do we think the subject is here? So, I'm going to wait for some hands to come up. Thank you to the hands that are coming up. Let's get some more up. Subject and verb in this sentence. I need you to take your headphones out. Next time I have to tell you I'm going to take them, okay? Zach, what do you got?
Alright, so the verb is slurping or toasting?
Verb is slurping or toasting. So, good guess in both of those spots. Anybody want to help Zach out?
No.
Selena, take a shot. Beverly is the what?
So verb.
Beverly is the subject, actually, Selena. That's the person that is doing stuff or having stuff done. Lyric, what do you got?
Struck is verb struck.
The verb is actually another one of these phrases. This was struck, and toasted is also another verb. So all this is an introductory for element. It is just introducing, giving you more information about this main sentence. I think it's probably time for us to move into individual practice, but I wonder if there are any sort of questions out there right now that y'all have. What do you got?
So you just put the colors in these sentences?
So I'm going to tell you that shortly. Did you have a question?
I did, but it's not involving this.
Okay. So maybe ask me. I'm going to move us along. Here's what's going on right now. Momentarily, I'm going to give you a partner. When you have a partner, you are going to trade sheets of paper with them. Then you are going to look at where they decided to put commas. If they got it right, you're going to put a little star next to it. If they got it wrong, you're going to put an exclamation point there. And if it confuses you, so you're like, I don't know, you're going to put a question mark next to it. Are there questions right now about what we're about to do? What questions are there?
How do we know if they're wrong?
How do we know if they're wrong? You're going to use your judgment. You could look at this sheet of paper, the comma tip sheet, to try to figure out maybe what type of introductory element is there, or if it's there. And if you think it's wrong, you're going to say that's wrong. You're learning to make judgments. Naya, what's your question?
Do we work with the same people we worked with yesterday?
I'm just going to real quickly break this up again, and I'm not sure if it's going to be the same people, okay? So, I'm going to do it this way. Can I have you two work together? Can I have Shiloh and, why is it stuck in my head? Ryder work together? Can I have you two work together? You two work together. I'm going to have Zach and Kylie work together. I'm going to have you two work together. I'm going to have you two work together. I'm going to have Selena and Lyric work together, and then you all work together. Okay? So go team go. I'm going to give us 2 to 3 minutes to work on this. So you should trade the paper, Zach, right now. Thank you. All trade papers?
What the heck?
Then it's wrong. They should have put one, right? If you think there should be one there, then it's going to be wrong. You could correct it. Yeah.
I know that
Do you trade papers, Liz?
We did.
Okay, good deal. Trade papers, Ryder? Yeah. Thanks for looking at it.
I'm not going to. See, look. Still there.
You're a failed abortion.
Hey, Kylie? That's not nice. Don't say stuff like that, okay? Thanks. How can I help? Yep. Y'all doing okay?
Yeah.
Any question marks or exclamation points yet? Look for them.
Confused here, we're just supposed to do that.
Yep, confused, you put the question mark.
What if they didn't finish?
If they didn't finish, you can either stop looking at it because there's no more evidence, or you could mark it as wrong because it's not correct.
No.
Your decision. How you doing, Larry? Is there anything else? All right, folks, 1 minute warning. Hayden's coming out. What's that? If you want to correct it, you may, but really I'm interested in giving them stars, question marks, or exclamation points. Okay? All right. What's up? When Braylee comes down. So,
Here you go, Tony.
here's where we're at right now. Can you swap sheets back? And real quickly, let's look at your stars and exclamation points. Let's look at your exclamation points and question marks. If there's anything on there that also confuses you, so if someone else put a question mark on your paper and you look at it and you're like, that confuses me too, you're going to raise your hand and we're going to go over it as a whole class. Okay? So you're looking at the question marks and exclamation marks. I'm going to give it about a minute, maybe a little less.
Question mark was wrong.
Confusing.
And then if it's nothing, then right.
4 stars, right? Okay. Did anybody have one they want us to go over? All of them? Liz, what do you got?
Probably number 3.
Number 3. So I'm going to try to get out of this real quickly. Shabam.
Why do you screenshot everything?
Shabam. I don't think I am. I think it just does that when I change it. But
No,
if I am
that's-
screenshotting, then I don't understand how to use this thing. Number 3, Liz wants to look at, so I'm going to do that real quickly. Akram has a problem hitting the snooze button on his alarm over and over. I would not put any commas in there. To get to class, his first class on time, comma, Akram frequently eats a donut in the car, comma, getting crumbs all over the seat of his new vehicle. So this is an introductory element. I'm not sure which one it is on your sheet, but it has an infinitive in it, which is to get. This is additional information, so it's a different type of phrase or clause at the end, which is just giving you more information about the main clause, the main sentence. Is that helpful, Liz? Cool. Anybody else have one they want us to go over as a whole class? 5? Cool, thanks, Tylee. In English class, no one wants to sit next to Eli because he is always smacking his gum loudly. I would not put a comma in that first one. You could potentially put one right here, but that's a judgment call. I personally wouldn't put one there. Right here, you would have a comma, because that's an introductory word. Moreover, he nervously swings his leg, kicking people in the thighs, shins, and ankles. This is another sort of phrase that gives us more information about what happens when he kicks his leg, and it has a little bit of a list, a series there, 3 separate things. Is that helpful, Tyler? We're going to move along, and we'll have another chance for questions, but what I want us to do now is we're going to flip over our sheets of paper. Flip them. You're going to write 3 sentences of your own on the back, and you're going to try to use an introductory element in every sentence. So you're going to write 3 sentences of your own on the back, use an introductory element in every sentence. I'm going to give us about 2 minutes to do this, maybe 3. What do you got?
What do you mean by introductory?
So, an introductory element are different kinds that are on this sheet of paper. So, it's things that give you more information about the main clause or sentence to come. So, since Mr. Nichols was wearing a Mets hat, no one could see his bald spot. What's that? Oh. Bald spot? So, can you start trying?
What would be an example?
Chocolate,
The shells here eat these English language. Just give me one. To make sure that I have a lunch, I packed my lunch for the night. Just give it a try. It's not like it.
on top of the bridge is a very small, very tight,
All right, team. So hopefully you're finishing up with breaking some down.
Watch
Not even being mean.
And
Who's your team?
here's what's going to happen right now. You are going to bring your attention back to me. You're going to bring your attention back to me. You are going to read out one of your sentences to the partner you were working with. When you get to the place that should have a comma, you are going to verbalize the comma. So, for instance, while Mr. Nichols was sleeping, comma, a frog went into his refrigerator and drank all the orange juice. Okay, so go team go. Share out your sentences, verbalize the commas.
Hey Tyler, so I said, also there was a very fat, small cat in your head. No!
Another one is me. Noah gets bullied every day.
Holy crap. Where's the comma?
In between them.
Mine is,
Strong word.
yes, I didn't really know this.
That says comma. It was not.
Anybody else?
We're doing the introductory element. Did you even write one?
No.
Yeah. I saw yes. Don't show that to him. I agree.
There, you want to share one?
I know. Probably something I don't know.
chicken nuggets.
How about, okay, since it's that day, I didn't have to do my hair. Where's your hat?
I know, right?